Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we're going to be talking about the Iron and Resin Scout jacket. Now, Iron and Resin did send me this as a sample for review, but all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Iron and Resin prior to publication. They will see this when you do. In addition to that, there is an affiliate link in the description box down below. If you're considering buying this jacket or any other product from Iron and Resin, like the Clamo flannel or the Enduro jeans, please consider using that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of the sale kicked back to me, and all the money goes back to the channel to help me produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. Okay, while this size large Scout that I am wearing right now was sent to me as a sample, I've actually purchased 2 Scouts in the past with my own money, and my very first wax jacket ever was a V1 of the Scout I bought on eBay like, I don't know, 2.5 years ago at this point. I don't know, it seems everything's a blur anymore, but that was actually thought it was a fake, because when I got it, while externally it did look just like this, it had no lining in the sleeves, and there was a few things that were off on it, so I ended up taking a bunch of pictures, emailing Iron and Resin, and they did confirm I had bought a used V1 that was an American made with unlined sleeves. It had the Klamath lining, but it didn't have that Riza lining, which I was unaware of at the time, between the shell. So yes, I did buy a actual Iron and Resin Scout, just I bought the older version. And then I decided I wanted black or charcoal, so I ended up buying a V2 in the charcoal. But at the time, 90% of the products I was reviewing on the channel were purchased with my own money, so one had to go out for one to come in, and I regrettably did sell that V1, which I kind of wish I still had to this day. But here we are with the current version of the Iron and Resin Scout in the British Millerain. Now, I say that because now they are also offering multiple materials. They have an Alaskan waxed cotton canvas and the British Millerain, but you need to check the website to see what is in stock. I believe the versions that just list the color are the Alaskan waxed canvas, and then if they have British Millerain in stock, it will be the color - British Millerain. But who is Iron and Resin? Well, they are a Southern California-based clothing and lifestyle company. They have a flagship store in Ventura, California, they call The Garage. That is essentially a collection of both a store and, from the videos and photos I've seen, some really cool things that they've just collected throughout time that they're kind of just displaying. So it looks like a mini museum of Southern California culture, as well as some pretty badass clothing items. Now, they kind of started on this foundation of like dirt biking, Baja, surfing, traveling, kind of exploring, living in the desert, just having fun. So it's like a clothing lifestyle brand, and it seems like they promote that both throughout a lot of their photography on their website, the way they're presenting their clothing, and a lot of the videos that they put on their YouTube channel. Just looks like they're having a lot of fun. So I can kind of relate to their ethos, because while I do find myself indoors quite a bit anymore, I love to travel, I love to hike, I love to camp, I love to get outdoors, and I love to explore. So it's all things that I personally like to do. Now, what is the intended use of the Scout? Well, this is a Type 3 style trucker jacket, and Type 3 trucker jackets by design are a very casual look, and they also carry a very workwear-centric heritage to them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, some of the background of Iron and Resin comes from the motorcycle world, and this is a very motorcycle-friendly jacket. While it is not an armored jacket, it is a heavier wax canvas, so it can withstand the elements and riding fast on a motorcycle or dirt bike. It also carries a very casual look to it, and now that Type 3 trucker jackets are pretty in trend, you can wear this just about anywhere without standing out in the crowd. But how have I been wearing my Iron and Resin Scout? Well, I've just been wearing this casually just about everywhere I go. So as long as the weather is between about 25 and maybe I'd say 60 degrees, it's a pretty good layer. I've worn this walking the dog in the morning when it was a little chillier with either a flannel or a hoodie on underneath, and I was pretty fine. Below that 25-degree temperature range, I feel like it got a little cold and I would switch out for something a little bit heavier. But I've worn it, you know, early mornings walking the dog. I've worn this in the rain, both walking the dog, going to work, out with the family. Because it is wax canvas, it is British Millerain, it does shed the water very, very nicely. I've worn this to work. I've worn this just about anything that I've done. It's been my grab and go jacket. It hangs on the hook. So as long as the temperatures are above 25 degrees, I've basically been grabbing this jacket since I've got it. And it's got a lot of wear. And being waxed, I mean, it does take on a lot of that character, and like you see a lot of the creasing and folding. And as I'm going to wear this more, it's going to take on a lot more patina and it's going to age, and you're going to start to see a lot of those high darker spots from wearing and everything, and the way the wax is going to rub off the jacket and everything like that. So I've been wearing this quite a bit, just about anything that I would possibly do on my daily basis, except for riding it on 2 wheels, because, you know, 25 degrees is a little too chilly even to go 40 miles an hour on a Honda Ruckus. Now, fit, feel, and finish of the Scout. Now, this is a slim, more tapered fit of a jacket. While you can tell by me wearing it that it does look a little slimmer than your average Type 3, you have to also keep in mind that this has a thicker 9-ounce Klamath lining inside the jacket, as well as a Riza lining sandwiched between the body and the shell. So all of that does take up internal space inside the jacket. So if you are on the cusp, or you want to layer underneath your jacket, I do highly recommend that you size up. My charcoal V2 of the Scout was a size medium, and that was a little bit slim on me, which is one of the reasons I ultimately let it go. So now I am wearing a size large, and it fits me much, much better. Now, the Klamath lining in this jacket is awesome. I absolutely love the Klamath lining. This is the reason that I have been wanting a Klamath flannel for so many years, and every time I try to buy one, they are out of stock because it is just that awesome of a flannel shirt. So the liner inside the jacket not only looks awesome, it keeps me snug and warm. Now, the wax shell of this jacket does have a wet wax finish feeling, and if you've never felt wax canvas before, by that I mean when you touch it, it feels almost like it is a bit damp or wet. There are varying degrees of wax canvas, some of which are dry, some of which are wet, and some of which are either very wet or an oily type of finish. This would fall right in the middle as the wet finish. One point of note is that the old V1s of this jacket were American made, while the current versions are imported. Now, the Iron and Resin Scout jacket comes in at $325 USD. They have recently added options for the shell of the jacket. Seen here is the 12-ounce British Millerain, but they now also offer in an Alaskan wax cotton canvas. The body lining is a 9-ounce Klamath flannel. The sleeves of the jacket are polyline that will allow you to slide your arms in and out much easier if you are wearing something like a Klamath flannel underneath. It features a Riza waterproof breathable liner that is sandwiched between the liner and the shell of the jacket. The collar and cuffs of the jacket are corduroy lined. The jacket features both a Talon zipper closer or Iron and Resin shank buttons. Now, the corduroy lined collar and cuffs are really, really nice. If it is a cold day, you can flip that collar up against your neck and you have a nice warm material against your neck, while the wax canvas underside is creating a nice wind block. And the corduroy lined cuffs are really nice if you are wearing this on a warmer day with something like a t-shirt underneath, because they prevent all of the wax from the cuff kind of gunking up your watch face. The hand warmer pockets of the jacket are a nice flannel or fleece lining that feel really good if you're sticking your paws in there on a chilly day. The inside of the jacket features a zipper pocket on the left side, and then on the right side there is a larger button pocket above and a smaller media pocket below that does fit an iPhone 14. Now, some of the points of note of the Scout. I said this before, but I really want to drive this point home so you don't hit the pitfall that I did in my first time. This is a slimmer fitting jacket. So I do recommend, if you like to wear some layers or you're on the cusp, size up in your jacket. My first one, my first V2 anyway, was a size medium and it was really slim. While it did fit me okay, ultimately, I found it to be just a little bit too tight on me if I was wearing anything more than a t-shirt. And, you know, when it gets down to 25 degrees outside, I wanted to keep wearing my Scout, but I couldn't really fit comfortably much heavier layers underneath. So size up. This one is a size large and it fits me so much better. It's so much more comfortable. So it doesn't only have a slimmer tapered profile to it, the liners inside the jacket do take up some of that space. So please be aware when you're purchasing, you may want to size up in the Scout to make sure you get a proper fitting jacket. One of the other things that I had noted in my original review of the jacket was the zipper. I didn't like the zipper. To me personally, I think a Type 3 trucker, it shouldn't have a zipper. It should just have button flaps. Now, this has almost that storm flap like an N1 deck jacket would be, where the storm flap will cover the zipper to protect it. I don't think we need that with a Type 3. I don't really use the zipper that much. I personally mostly just button. button my jackets like this, and this is how I generally wear my Type 3 trucker jackets. Well, if it's really cold, I will zip up the jacket, but generally I just use the buttons. While I don't find that the zipper gets in the way too much on me anymore, I think it's because I'm now ultimately used to it. I do still think that this jacket would look better and function just a little bit easier with only shank buttons and not the zipper. And the last point of note is that this jacket does not feature gussets. That is a question that I seem to get asked quite frequently in the comments of my Scout videos. So while I personally do like gussets and do find a big benefit from them on jackets, the Scout does not offer them. And honestly, unless I'm wearing a lot of layers underneath, I don't really find that I need gussets with this jacket. Now for the pros of the Scout. And the very first one is the overall aesthetic of the jacket. This is a classic Type 3 trucker style jacket. And if you have not been following this channel for a while, Type 3 truckers are my personal favorite style of jacket. I just love Type 3 truckers. I love them in waxed, I love them in denim, I love them in corduroy. I just love them. It is probably my all-time favorite style of jacket. So at least for me personally, the overall aesthetic of this jacket is awesome. And the next positive of this jacket, and once again, this might be more of a personal thing for me, the Clamo liner. I absolutely love the look and feel of the Clamo flannel lining in the body of the Scout. It just looks awesome. It has that Southwest Southern California vibe to it, and this is what made me want to buy a Clamo flannel shirt for so long. And yes, I said buy as I tried to buy them with my own money several times, but they are always out of stock because they are just such an awesome shirt. And the next positive is the quality of the jacket. Now this is a well-built garment. This is my third time getting a Scout, and the only issue I've ever had was the right pocket of my V2, the one I bought brand new from Iron and Resin, the seam split. And it wasn't like it's split because I'm right-handed and I do put my keys and everything in my right pocket. It was split basically when I got the jacket. I noticed like the second day or something. I reached out to them. They said, yep, that's a QC issue. Send it back. We'll repair it and ship it right back to you. And I thought, well, I mean, I'm pretty handy with a needle and thread. I can either send my jacket back and not have it for like 2 weeks that I just got my brand new jacket, or I can take 5 minutes and sew it myself. So I literally just took 5 minutes. I sewed it up, and I never had an issue again. They were totally willing to fix it for me. They totally owned up to it, that it was their own QC issue, but it's a pocket bag. I've fixed thousands of them, almost literally probably hundreds. I'm sorry, thousands might be an over-exaggeration, but I fixed hundreds of them over the years, one of which is on a leather jacket that's hanging on that rack. It's my favorite leather jacket. It's a vintage leather jacket from the 70s. There was probably, by the end of that lifespan, once a week, I was sewing the pocket bags up in that because they would just split open. So it's something I'm totally used to doing. It was totally easy, and that was the only issue I've ever had with an Iron and Resin product. And now I've had several. I've actually bought a couple with my own money over the years. In addition to those two Scouts, I've bought a few other things from Iron and Resin, and their quality is always great. I've not had any other issues with anything else. And the jacket is just, it wears great. It sheds water really, really well. It doesn't, I said it has that waxy feeling, but that wet feeling, but it's not like a super waxy feeling. Like I'm rubbing my hand on it and I don't feel like I have a waxy film on my hand. Now, yes, this has a month or a little more of wear on it, so some of that wax has certainly shed off the jacket over time. But even when I first got it, and I remember this from my other Scouts, it has a wet feeling, but it's not like an overly waxed where you just feel like it's on your skin and you can't get it off. So it feels really good and it sheds the water really, really well. But is it worth your $325? And honestly, yes, I think this is totally worth $325. Yes, this is an imported jacket, but I've actually spent my own $325 on this jacket, and the only reason I sold it was because it was just a little too slim, and I ended up favoring a different jacket from a different company. So I ultimately sold my old one because I just wasn't wearing it because it was a little too slim on me. But the quality was great. The look, I always loved the overall look and aesthetic of it. It's a great jacket. I have no problems with it. I am personally not opposed to buying an imported product, as long as it's well made, durable goods. And I'm not gonna buy something from fast fashion that's paying their workers pennies a day. So as long as they are ethically producing the materials, the garment is actually durable and worth the money, I don't have a problem with imported. So no, I don't care that this is imported and not American made. $325, it's kind of par for the course. It's kind of fair game. It's in the, I would say, even the lower end of wax jackets. You're looking at Like if you want to talk Flint and Tinder, you're at $300. If you want to talk Filson, you're in the $400, and they're also imported from India now. So the Filson, you're paying more money for a Filson wax jacket that is also imported. And I've never had one, but I've heard the quality is not what it used to be. They're charging the same, making it foreignly, and they're charging you like $100 more than you're paying for this. So yes, $325 I think is a fair price for this jacket. It's a quality built garment. I've had zero issues with it. I love the colorway now. I kind of wish that I stuck with the original V1 in the tan, but I have one now, and it's been really, really great to wear. I've not gotten wet, and yes, I have worn this in the rain several times now at this point. And most of that water was just beating up and shedding off the wax, so I don't even think it was hitting the resin liner inside the jacket. So yes, I am very satisfied with the Iron and Resin Scout jacket. It's a very high quality garment. It's a durable good. This is something that you can buy and have for many, many years. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.